Melissa over at Homebody Hall. I am getting on today to work with mixing orange colors. So like yesterday, yesterday I did greens, and I was talking about how it can be really overwhelming to buy paint because there's so many colors. But really all you need to do is buy your primaries, your red, yellow, blue, black and white, and then magenta. So you can mix everything from there. I do buy neons and metallics separately, but you can really simplify things like this. So oranges. Orange is red and yellow mixed in the simplest terms. So I've got a bunch of reds here, and then I have one yellow. So the yellow I'm working with is yellow medium from Master's Touch. And then the reds, I've got deep red from Artist Loft, brilliant red from Artist Loft, and crimson from Master's Touch. I also want to show you, I did buy some orange. You can see it was on sale for $1.74, so I just grabbed it because it's a lot of paint for $1.74. I think it was on sale because this is like pumpkin orange. And there's very few things that I feel like should be pumpkin orange. So, but buying something like this, if you see it, you may not love this color, but it's cheap paint, so you can always add things to it and change the color a little bit. I also, like I said, I buy neons by themselves because it's really hard to get this. Like, I don't even think you can. If you can, let me know. Mix the neons. So we have, yesterday I told you too, if you want to learn about greens, go back and watch that replay. It was really good. You can see what we did yesterday. I have it all swatched out. We're going to do kind of the same thing here. We have our yellows down across this way. I've written them. And then reds across the top. And you kind of just mix them in a grid. And I use paint straight from the tube, not what I'm pouring with. And I use a palette knife. And it's just a really handy reference that you're creating. And it's a really fun way to play with your paint and see what you can get. And make the most out of the paint you already have, those basic colors. So first I've got the yellow and the deep red. So you want to always start with your lighter color and then mix in your darker color so that it like doesn't take over, and you want to just start really small and with the darker color, and then you can always go darker, but it's hard to back it out and you'll end up making like a lot of paint if you don't start small. There. So I have a feeling that a lot of these are going to take on a very, very bright pumpkin-y color. You can, like this, I started out with a lot of the yellow here. And so you have a lot of the yellow and a little bit of the red. So you've got what's known as yellow-orange. If I add more red, you can turn it to a pumpkin, and then more red than that, you can do like this. You can get like a red orange, like a burnt orange. So I'm trying to see. So you can take that down to like put a lot of red in there, and it'll get that dark hue. So that's one thing to consider, is always your ratio of yellow to red. Which reds and yellows you're using. There's a variety of reds and yellows out there. And experimentation really is gonna get you where you wanna go most times. So now I'm mixing the yellow and the crimson. And this is turning out much brighter. This one appears a little bit more dull to me, even though I know it has more red in it, but it still just appears a little more dull. And then you've got this bright one right here. And this is also good because doing this swatching, because you can see how things dry. Your paint is going to dry darker and with a different sheen than when you poured it on, because you're taking the water content out as it dries. So this is like a really good way to figure out how it's going to look after it's dried, and if you're going to like colors together. So I always recommend swatching and documenting and things like that. This brilliant red and yellow is creating like a really nice, warm orange that I really like. That's something that I would definitely use in a painting of mine. I don't use a lot of orange, I don't think. I'm going to mix the quinacridone magenta, it's my favorite kind of magenta, to the yellow, and we'll see what we get. Quinacridone magenta is a cool color rather than the warm, so it plays a little bit differently, but I still really like this a lot. This is a nice color that it's making. So if you have any color mixing questions, if you're catching this on the replay, if you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments and I will like check back on them and I will totally answer all your questions. Yeah, like if you're just tuning in and you find this helpful, be sure to pass it on and everything. So you can see the variety of oranges you can get just from using different reds. Like this is all the same yellow and just different reds. So you can do a lot there. The other things you can do, I didn't grab white for some reason. You can add blue. Blue is the complementary color of orange, so it'll dull it out. You want to be adding the blue very like sparingly. I did not just do. You can get like a greenish, warm brown out of there. Right there. So you can add blues to dull things out a little bit. Hardly any. So if you don't want that pumpkin-y color, but you're looking for a warm color still, you can add just a tiny bit of blue. And get these different shades of almost like terracotta and stuff. The other thing you can do is add white, and you'll get it, it'll be really opaque, and it'll lighten the color out a lot. Let me see. Let me grab my white really quick and do that. It's always fun. So we have our white. This is just titanium white, the Master's Touch. So let's see, put it over here. This really like sunny color right here at the bottom. If you do white, so like I said, like you can mix whatever color you want. It might take a minute for you to figure out the color bias and stuff of them, but it is possible, and you can get some really cool colors. There's like a cool tan, like a skin tone almost with the white. So there's so much you can do with just your primary colors and stuff. And it really is beneficial to know your color theory and stuff, and this is a really good way to practice with that. If you're interested in color theory, I put a link to my shop in the comments. I've got a lot of resources and printables and things like that for color theory, for getting started, or for like pre-made palettes. I've got organization templates and all kinds of things on there. So if you need any resources, pop in there and see if anything in there can help. Also, just ask questions. I'm here to help.